Hi, my name is Gemma Lynch and I'm an Outreach Officer at Maynooth University Access Programme. You're very welcome to our presentation on the Disability Access Route to Education at Maynooth University. Maynooth University has a strong commitment to widening participation. As part of this commitment, Maynooth University provides flexible pathways to university for school leavers with disabilities through the Disability Access Route to Education, or DARE for short. DARE provides a quota of reduced points places on all courses at Maynooth University and a wide range of academic supports to students who enter through the Disability Access Route. This presentation will introduce you to the DARE entry route and how to apply. When you're thinking about making an application to the CAO, you start to wonder, would you like to go to college and where would you like to go? And this might be where you're at the moment, or you might be at an earlier stage just starting to think about college. But you will start to wonder, how do you get there and how do you apply? And you start to hear about the CAO application process. Here is a range of all of the colleges that participate in the Disability Access Route to Education. And you can find out more about these colleges on accesscollege.ie, where there's a full list of participating colleges. The main point is that there's something for everyone in college. There's a range of different courses that might suit your interests. There's clubs and societies that are really important for getting to know other students and getting new experiences and gaining new skills, trying something new and having an experience of the other side of college life, including volunteering. Here in Maynooth Access Programme, our students are invited to volunteer as MAP ambassadors and take part in the many outreach activities that we have to encourage other people like you to come to college through the DARE route. Have you heard of DARE? If you're in your Leaving Cert year, you may be having conversations already with your guidance counsellor about the Disability Access Route to Education, or this may be your first time to hear about it. What is DARE? The Disability Access Route to Education, or DARE for short, is a third-level alternative admission scheme for school leavers whose disabilities have had a negative impact on their second-level education. DARE offers reduced points places to school leavers who, as a result of having a disability, have experienced additional educational challenges in second-level education. If you should apply, if your disability has had a negative impact on your educational performance in school, and you may not be able to meet the points of your preferred course due to the impact of your disability, and also are under the 23 years of age as of the 1st of January 2022. Here's a list of disabilities eligible for consideration, and you can read more on these eligible disabilities for consideration on accesscollege.ie. To be eligible for DARE, you must meet both the DARE Educational Impact Criteria and the DARE Evidence of Disability criteria. Applicants must provide the required evidence of their disability and provide an educational impact statement from their school to be considered for DARE. The educational impact looks at whether your disability has impacted on a combination of the following: whether you've received intervention or supports at second level, whether your disability has impacted on your attendance, on your school experience and your well-being, or on your learning and exam results. It will also look at whether your disability has caused any other educational impact. And if you're an applicant with a specific learning difficulty, it will look at the impact of your literacy and numeracy skills. DARE benefits applicants through reduced points places. An example is, if the Leaving Cert points for a course are 366 points, an eligible DARE applicant could be offered a place with a lower points score, for example 356 points. So as a DARE eligible student, you can compete for a reduced points place. Applicants need to meet the entry and programme requirements to be considered for a DARE reduced points offer. The amount of points a particular course is reduced by is dependent on the overall number of places on the course, the number of reserved DARE places on the course, and the number of DARE eligible applicants competing for these reserved places. The reduction in points for DARE can vary every year. DARE also benefits applicants, students who are eligible through orientation programs. In Maynooth, we call ours the Launchpad Orientation Programme, through learning support, assistive technology, library supports, exam accommodations, educational support worker, and academic tuition. You don't have to be eligible for DARE to get support in college. A needs assessment is conducted to identify your specific support requirements. How do you apply? You can apply to the CAO by the 1st of February. Review your DARE handbook with your parents or guardians. And it's really important that you start to do that now if you're considering making an application to CAO for 2022. Complete a Section A of the Supplementary Information Form and apply to DARE by answering yes to question 1 by the 1st of March 2022. So you start your CAO application by the 1st of February. Review your DARE handbook with your parents or guardians. Start to work your way through it. Complete Section A of the Supplementary Information Form and apply to DARE by answering yes to question 1 on the online application by the 1st of March 2022. It's really important that you start gathering your documentation in a timely fashion, and we would advise that you start it now, but certainly before the 15th of February, because you need to submit the educational impact statement and evidence of disability to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022. The Supplementary Information Form, Section A, applicant information, is completed by you by 5 o'clock on the 1st of March 2022. Answer yes to question 1 to apply to DARE and fully complete questions 1 to 5, or answer yes to question 1B to carry forward your DARE eligibility. Section B, Educational Impact Statement. The school statement should be completed by your school and sent to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022. It is the applicant's responsibility to ensure that you submit the school education impact statement to the school in time, have it completed by the school, collect it and send it by post to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022. It is not the school's responsibility, it is the applicant's responsibility. Section C, Evidence of Disability, is completed by the appropriate professional and must be sent to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022. And again, it is the applicant's responsibility to ensure that it is completed by the appropriate professional and is sent to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022. Section B then, the Educational Impact Statement, provides information on how your disability has impacted on your second level education. You must download the form, complete the applicant checklist with your school, and your school will complete the rest following on from your responses to the applicant checklist. This form needs to be completed either by your guidance counsellor, learning support teacher, your head, your visiting teacher, or your principal or deputy principal. The form must be signed and stamped by the school principal, deputy principal, so that is something you should check when you receive it back from the school. Make sure that it is signed and that it is completed by the correct member of staff in the school. You must return the form to the CAO by the 15th of March 2022, and again, that is the applicant's responsibility. Section C on the evidence of disability provides verification of your disability and helps to determine third level supports. You can provide an existing report or complete Section C, Evidence of Disability Form 2022. Get the form completed, signed and stamped by the appropriate professional or accompanied by their business card or headed paper. Applicants with a specific learning difficulty are asked to provide a full psychological assessment of any age completed by an appropriately qualified psychologist instead of the Section C, Evidence of Disability form. Your GP may be in a position to complete Section C, Evidence of Disability, if they have the appropriate information on file from the consultant or specialist. It is important to note that applicants applying under the following disability categories must provide a report that is less than 3 years old. so dated after the 1st of February 2019. This applies to applicants with ADD, ADHD, a mental health condition, or a significant ongoing illness. Applicants with a specific learning difficulty, including dyslexia and dyscalculia, must provide a full psychological assessment report of any age completed by a psychologist, and must have 2 literacy or 2 numeracy attainment scores at or below the 10th percentile, with a standard score of 81 or below. These attainment scores can be from one or a combination of the following sources: scores from school-based attainment testing, scores from attainment tests carried out by a psychologist, and testing must have been carried out after the 1st of February 2020, and all applicants must submit an educational impact statement completed by their school. Check out the information on providing evidence of your disability on accesscollege.ie using this link. So here are some helpful tips to help you along the way in completing your application to DARE. Really important to study the DARE handbook carefully with your parents or guardians. You can download the handbook now and start working your way through it as a trial run with your parents and guardians, so that you can stop at any point where you have a difficulty and contact any of the participating colleges, including Maynooth University, for advice, guidance or support. And again, contact your guidance counsellor in your school also for guidance, advice and support. Select yes to question 1 on the supplementary information form. Ensure you speak to your teacher early about the educational impact statement. Request the required supporting documentation early. You can start now. Send good quality copies of all pages of the correct documents. Submit all supporting documents requested. Keep proof of postage. You can get a receipt from the post office. And we also recommend that you consider submitting a stamped addressed envelope or a stamped addressed postcard with an outline of the documents that you've submitted to the CAO that they can stamp and return to you as further proof of postage and that you met the deadline. The deadlines are super important, so please ensure that you meet the deadlines at each stage of the application process. Here are some common mistakes that affect DARE eligibility. Where the Section C form, evidence of disability, is completed by a GP, but the required copy of report by appropriate professional confirming diagnosis was not provided, or reports are out of date. Reports might not confirm the diagnosis of the condition by the consultant. Incorrect professional completion, Section C report. The test details are missing. For example, the name of the test, the date, or who conducted the test. And again, forgetting to complete question 1 of the supplementary information form by 5 o'clock on the 1st of March. So it is really important to start now, looking at the information, looking at the evidence of disability that you currently have, checking if it's in date, checking if it confirms the diagnosis, and all of these steps along the way. Slowly and carefully working your way through it, seeking advice from your guidance counsellor if necessary, and seeking advice from a participating HEI also. DARE is not the SUSI grant. If you apply to DARE, you should also apply to SUSI if you think you might be eligible. SUSI is the main financial support for college. DARE does not come with any specific financial support. The key eligibility criteria for SUSI are on their website, and SUSI have an income reckoner tool on their website that's very helpful to determine if your income meets the thresholds for SUSI. So check out the SUSI website on susi.ie. Use the eligibility reckoner to see if your household income meets their thresholds, and tick the SUSI option to share your college acceptance on the CAO form. SUSI opens application process in early April 2022. Return the requested documentation to SUSI, complete it on time, and here is their information. You can find all of this information again on susie.ie. Here are the deadlines for the Disability Access Route to Education, and they are the same as the deadlines for the Higher Education Access Route. The Dare and Hear closing date is the 1st of March 2022 at 5 o'clock. Supporting documentation's closing date is the 15th of March 2022. You're notified of eligibility in late June 2022, and you can review or appeal the outcome of your application in July 2022. Dare and Hear offers are made by participating higher education institutions in August 2022, and college orientations typically take place from late August to early September, so we'd recommend that you are available to attend your Dare orientation around that time. Remember, take your time, watch the deadlines, ensure you have the correct supporting documentation with the correct evidence. Submit it, check it, and send it. Again, you can apply to both Dare and Hear, and applicants who are both Dare and Hear eligible will be prioritised by colleges when allocating reduced points places. Dare application outcomes are from the 21st of June. You can log into your CAO application to view your Dare application outcome. Further information is available on accesscollege.ie, and on this website, if you click the yellow button, you can read all about the Higher Education Access Route. On the green button, you can read all about the Dare Disability Access Route to Education, and it's worth becoming familiar with both, as you may wish to apply to both. There are some virtual application information days that we strongly recommend you attend. On Saturday the 8th of January 2022 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. you can go online and have information and advice about completing your application. More information is available on accesscollege.ie, and helpful websites include cao.ie, susie.ie and qualifax.ie. We would love to hear from you at the Maynooth University Access Programme. If you have any questions about the Disability Access Route to Education, how to apply and the benefits of applying, please reach out to us at dare@mu.ie or get in touch with us through the website at maynooth.ie/access-office, where there is an ask function on our pages. Simply type in your question and one of our advisors will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation.